But I have another interesting Founding the Third Path deck that I think is going to be a bit better too. I had a different deck lined up for my backup deck today until this morning. Someone suggested Founding the Third Path and Esper Mentor, which I think is like an easy fit because you can just kind of play this card over the Snapcasters you were playing. And Founding the Third Path seems great, where it can trigger Mentor multiple times. It fills up it really sets up those Unearth Mentor turns, which is like the whole point of this deck is trying to unearth your Monastery Mentors. I think it then also provides you like the multiple triggers, but either when you're just playing chapter 1 or chapter 3, and you can read ahead to it. I'm very excited for it. So, and this is a deck we've played a bunch on stream. It's kind of like an old pet deck, and we're still, certainly in, the testing new cards territory. But I do think Founding the Third Path is a good fit here. Gigantha's like, you're gonna learn. You should have me in the deck. I also don't like. I don't know what sideboard card I'd be cutting. Put it in Snap Moles to 4, probably playing Tron. sorry, I stopped petting you. You can always get Lingering Souls, dude. Souls is so good against Murktide. The Murktide matchup is kind of tricky. I think it's blue-white also. And it has like so much synergy in the deck too. So the Mold of 4 got Thoughtseize, might just have turn 3 Tron anyways. No known cards in hand. I'm gonna Shredder this turn. Not going to play so scared that I'm gonna cast the Thoughtseize here. Yeah, Drown into the Story. That was unforgettable deck. Urza's Tower into Oblivion Stone. 1 card in hand. Can I ever play the Mentor here? It's so bad to play the Mentor, and if they find Tron, yeah, I'm just gonna Thoughtseize pass. Probably shouldn't have fetched yet. And they just have land, sad. Do you think it's a decent Pioneer Mentor deck? Maybe. I mean, you have Mentor is mostly just good when you unearth it. It's really not very often good outside of being able to unearth it and have like a really explosive turn. Okay, I do like drawing Teferi here. I hate drawing 3 black removal spells against Tron though. Bauble will be a really good pickup here. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Ledger Shredder. Keep the Consider on top. Yeah, you can play Can't Stay Away instead of Unearth potentially. I think, and also like mana is a lot worse though too. So like playing Esper mana base and Pioneer is like really tough compared to Modern, where it's it really not that tough. Tron, very cool. That's okay. Things get a lot better post-board, where we get to cut the pushes, the Murderous Cut, bring in the Fulminators to go with our full 4 copies of Unearth. And I'm pretty likely to play a couple of copies of Prismatic Ending. Being able to answer Relic, Map, Star Stirrings. Like 2 seems pretty good. Yeah, let's do this. I haven't tested Squee and Gen Saga yet. Why this 3-drop over Grist Tracker Fable? It's because I want to test it. It was really it. I haven't tested it yet. That was my initial backup plan for today. I'm doing a lot of testing on stream with the new cards instead of just doing off-stream testing like I usually do. And although I did test the Jin deck off stream last night. But it's on the Mold of 5 again. Mold of 4 again. Yeah, I think Squeeze is interesting. I think it's like, you know, the escape effectively on Squeeze is super interesting to me, and I don't know that Squeeze is definitely going to be great in the Jund deck, but the card is pretty powerful and doesn't seem to have a lot of homes, but this is like an interesting home for it. There's a land. I do kind of need to find a land. Obviously, saving Bauble for Mentor is like tempting or whatever, but I think I should just cash it in. Path, just better snappy as cheaper first spell. This is perhaps the quintessential first time comment in Aspiring Spikes chat. Path, just better snappy as cheaper first spell. Oh, founding the first path. Yeah, it's cheaper than Snapcaster Mage. It triggers Mentor more times. Fills up the graveyard too is really relevant. I always figure out what you guys mean. I always figure out what you guys mean. It takes me some time though. I'm gonna get Godless Shrine into Island here. Can see Squee and sort of mono red Obosh Stompulus alongside Spiral Fable. Yeah, it's just like you already have so many 3-drops, but yeah. Maybe a world where maybe something where you loop Squeeze can be good. Well, Squee loops itself. I guess I'm confused. Let me draw Unearth. I think I'm just happy to go Fulminator this turn. The next turn I can go Shredder, Mentor, Connive. If they have Veil of Summer, I get blown out kind of bad, so I think it's best to Fulminate them in their upkeep or after they tap if they crack the map. I think it's good to go after their Tron lands. I'm not 100% sure. Hoping to just find some Unearths. Like the Squee Tomb deck. I'm not familiar with the Squee Tomb. Oh, like is this like the 3-mana Artifact Tomb, Desecrated Tomb? That's kind of cool. Ooh. Mission accomplished. Hope you liked getting a Fulminator Mage the first couple times, opponent. I mean, the new Squee doesn't work nearly as well with this package of cards, though, as the old one does, whatever. Add another Endurance instead of Deputy. What do you think? Is Aether Chandler? It seems like a great... Oh my gosh. That's probably fine. I think it just like largely depends on what you expect the field to look like. So we get to go Shredder into Founding. Connive obviously doesn't do a ton here, but we just get to read to Chapter 3, Unearth Fulminator Mage, get 2 Mentor triggers. Oh, did you get this? Is good with Yavimaya, huh? Yeah, the read ahead always. I think read ahead really makes these sagas super hard to evaluate. But it is also a really fun mechanic. I think Squee could be a good tutor targeting goblins. I really don't. I really don't think it would be. It's like I just think that like you're almost always wanting to get like Ringleader or Sling Gang or you know, a different goblin than Squee. It's hard to imagine a situation where you really want to get Squee outside of like you're playing against Green Black Rock and they can't ever deal with it, which is not going to be that common. Yeah, opponents fighting on. Losing this game would be awesome. I don't know that we can, though. I think we just killed him in 2 turns, right? Oh no, hold on. No, we killed him in 2 turns. Can you imagine losing that game? Kind of interested in the 3rd ending on the draw. May cut an Indulgence, I think. Maybe we could cut a Drown too. Well, Drown's actually not all that bad. Mono Green Tron fills up their graveyard a lot faster than you can expect. Let's keep this. I think there's a really good chance we can ending on turn 1. I mean, ending and counterspell was such big, such big hedges against Tron, huh? We can go Founding, Thoughtseize the next turn. Yeah, I missed into the story too. Second Mine. Into Stirrings. It's a Warping Whale. But they don't have it up to counter Thoughtseize this turn. Oh, I can Founding the third path target them. I totally didn't realize that this was like... Yeah, we just target them. Well, they have the third mine in their hand. I'll just take the whale, I think. Although, their graveyard is pretty full as it is. Targeting me could be good to find Unearth, to find Fulminator Mage. I'll mill them. Now that I've drawn Tainted Indulgence, kind of like easy mill them. That's actually sick. Huh. I think they're trying to counter this. I'm not sure. Discard the Mentor, try to find Unearth. Not sure how I kept this. Well, they had an expedition map that I got rid of, but yeah, it was kind of loosey-goosey. They found a green source, which they can use to cast their Stirrings. Their hand is currently Beseiju, Stirrings, Karn. They find Expedition Map, which they can play. And have a second Tron piece. We can flashback Thoughtseize. I'm missing some lands here. But we should be in okay shape still. I mean, I'm going to consider no matter what to try to find a land. Graveyard. Don't find a land. They find a tower and they shuffle away the power plant that was on top. Okay. I think I just go Founding Thoughtseize. It's close-ish. But I do think there's a good chance they just have a spell in their hand. Okay, they have the fourth mine, which was not a known card. Just drowned the 1/1. Yeah, hopefully don't lose to the 1/1. They do play the fourth mine. Spike, you didn't play more Pioneer? No, I didn't play more Pioneer. I'll play more Pioneer. I want to. There's just a lot to do in Modern too. It's always tough for me when there's a lot to do in Modern to be playing a ton of Pioneer, to be honest. Okay, so there's an Unearth on top. How bad is it to go to 1? It's probably fine to go to 1 here. The next turn I can flashback Unearth on Mentor, get a token. Oh, I'm going to 2 because I can just block the 1/1. I just need them to not top deck a Karn or a Wormcoil. Yeah, but I don't dislike Pioneer. I will play more of it. Have I trophied with any new cards? I have. I trophied with the red 2-drop that gets a counter when you cast an instant or sorcery in the mono red prowess deck. I always felt like that deck needed one more like reasonable threat. Ooh, Blast Zone. So I guess I'm gonna unearth Ledger Shredder now. And I suppose I also kind of have to go Founding Drown. Discard another Founding, I think. Obviously would love to be able to reactively drown, but I think I need to proactively drown the worm, like the front half of this worm coil. Start to be able to fight through it. Yeah, Founding is very interesting in this list. It's so many Mentor triggers. So many Mentor triggers. So I think we're gonna go like chump block Death Touch, double block Lifelink if they attack with both. If they attack with just Death Touch, maybe triple block. Could have attacked for 4. Can I? Because then they'll just put the Blast Zone on 2. If I can do everything back. No, the new 2-drop doesn't really work with Ground Rift. Okay, so Dead Mentor, 1 card in hand. Just Death Touch, I think, is a triple block for me. I don't have another Unearth in the graveyard currently. I could maybe mill one over with the Founding. Oh, what is this? Warping Whale? What a big blowout. Opponent's definitely been top decking. A lot of relevant cards. Hope I don't mill over both islands. I don't. I do mill over an Unearth, which is nice. Okay, there's a chance that they cast something pre-combat here. We'll see. We'll see. I counter it. I could cast this on my turn and get the connive off. Also, dicey game. All right, we do get to counter this, and now chump block Death Touch, eat the lifelink. Could also trade Mentor potentially. I don't think Warping Whale counts as a relevant spell when they have 7 mana. How can you not count it as a relevant spell when it was a spell that was relevant this turn? In fact, it's like they only have 6 mana, but it's a spell that they're casting that's relevant on this board. There's just no pleasing any Twitch chatter, huh? Okay, let's keep this Unearth, and then I think I'm gonna play Fulminator Mage with the plan of block sacking. Probably not looting this away. Is Indulgence better than Unearth? Probably not. Like Warping Whale is way more relevant than any land or any spell that costs more than the 6 mana that they have, which is a ton, right? It's more relevant than, like, you know, almost any other card that they could have. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 2, I have 0, 2, 1, 3. Or I can't. I can only do this if I have the Murderous Cut. I'll keep the Unearth. Destroy target land, 28 months. Thank you. Could Fulminator Mage now with the intention of cutting them off green and cutting them off Worm Coil, but I think I'd rather block sack. Indulgence is another reason for Gigantha. I hate it, but you might be right that it's correct. I think with them only being on 1 card and the fact that I can kill their tower if they find Tron, I better just go after the green mana. Oh, very interesting what they pick up here. They do get Tron. We wouldn't have Gigantha in the deck right now if we were playing it, since we have the Fulminated Mages in at the moment. They have 1 power plant in the yard at the moment, so I guess I have to plant. Oh yeah, I forgot their Gigantha too. They draw Karn. Karn's really good here. I can kill it with the Shredder if I want to. They probably get Ballista. I don't have too many outs of that. I have 1 Drowned Loch left. I can't cast this Thoughtseize. I think that's it. I don't have any life gain to draw to now. Can't kill them. Yeah, just have to draw the 1 of Drown. Yeah, weird game for sure. We were really ahead, and then like we just like couldn't find our 3rd land for a while. Okay, good game. so many Mentor triggers, and then also works well with the Mentor plan. Welcome to the O bracket game, the O1 bracket gamers. The O1 bracket where you're so scared of Sarah's Ascendant, you just main phase push it out of fear of protection spells. Lingering Souls are mostly for Murktide. You can also play them for control. It's just like been so much Murktide on Magic Online lately that I'm really interested in hedging for the matchup. Ooh, they kept a one-lander. I would never keep a one-lander. I would definitely not keep a lot of one-landers either. Ah! Scary. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, this could be a few different decks that they're playing. Ooh. I do love shredding again. I haven't been shredding that much lately. Discard the Mentor pretty aggressively usually. You can probably or discard a Grave. Well, I guess we should have known their hand was going to be all spells. Ranger Captain, Speaker, Proc. Proc is kind of scary. It's kind of slow though. I should probably take the Abiding Grace or maybe the March, because March is the only castable card by a lot. Abiding Grace is really good against me though. Like I don't if they just draw land and cast this, I'd probably lose, so let's, like, you know, play around that. As far as I know, the See the Truth bug hasn't been fixed. I tested it on Monday and it wasn't fixed, so I don't really expect that it's all of a sudden better. So hoping to find an Unearth for our Mentor at some point. 18 lanes, by the way. Okay, Dirty Mac, you can post a link in chat. I can take a look. Yeah, I agree that Modern's really good right now. I think like the Modern leagues are very diverse and interesting. You can do a lot of fun stuff. I've definitely been very into, I don't know, having fun lately. All right, this would be a good. Oh, this is no ban list pitch blue. Okay, I will say that it just doesn't cost you very much to splash one color in Modern. You know. Splashing one color just is not a big cost at all, and so I'm always like a little. Let's discard this. I'm a little confused when I see builds like this that are mono blue, and I just can't quite. What if I wait? I know I shocked. I shouldn't have shocked. But is it better to wait and go founding, cast Unearth, hold up drown next turn? I think I'll Unearth. I can trigger the Mentor off the founding. Then I can also block with the Mentor. They're unlikely to have an answer to it. It's just like I just don't know why you want to play this and not like splash one color for Teferi or Veil of Summer or Oko. You know what I mean? So they have 7 more life than their starting total. It seems like a big ask here. Ooh. Yeah, so what if I just go founding mill myself 4 and then see what I find. Yeah, we're gonna be able to like flashback Indulgence. I think we just draw 2 with Indulgence because you have the 1 of Murderous Cut in the yard. We also get to connive here. It's just so many Mentor triggers. Okay, I also saw... Oh wait, why does Force Negation have a 0 here? What is this? Original cost is... I guess you're just counting this as 0 for purposes of mana curve. Don't play Impulse in no banless Modern, don't play Impulse in regular Modern. You should play more Delve spells, although you're trying to Narset Days Undoing people too. I don't know, I guess I just don't really get the list. Like, splashing green for Oko and Uro just seems like so good, and I'm also like, you know, the Narset Days Undoing thing, I know it's really popular right now. There's also like lots of issues with trying to like be in on that combo in this format. It's like very slow, and Like Narset is reasonable, but like a lot, like by the time you're like resolving Narset, resolving Days Undoing, resolving Narset and sticking Narset is like about as good as winning a lot of the time. Days Undoing can be overkill, but I guess, you know, pitching into all your blue cards gives you that extra equity. Maybe that's the theory, huh? Okay, so opponent's going to, I imagine, sack their Kami. Yeah, you're playing Uro, Mystic Sanctuary seems pretty sweet. You can play Cryptic Command, Mystic Sanctuary Loop. If you are going to be mono blue, though, you should also have 4 Chrome Mox in your deck. Chrome Mox seems like so sick. And you can play the full 4 Seagate Restoration, too. Seagate Restoration seems sick with all the pitch cards. Better with Chrome Mox also. And then, but 4 Days Undoing is also too many no matter what. You should play like 2 or 3. Probably just 2 with so many cantrips. Cut the Click, cut the Impulses, play like 4 Chrome Mox, 3 Dig Through Time. If you want to stay mono blue. Do we miss lethal? They have a Kami of the False Hope in play, which is a fog on a stick. So I thought they were going to sack this rather than go to 1. I've seen new Smallpox streamer going with my Founding Third Path. How do I feel? So I played Founding Third Path without Smallpox and Reanimator, and someone in this chat suggested it, and I thought it sounded really cool and interesting, and I personally haven't really put any more thought to it, but I think the idea is cool. I think Endings, the exile removal seems pretty good. I think you'll be bringing in a lot of graveyard hate. They also don't seem to have that much removal. Can cut like 1 Unearth, 1 Bauble, 1 Indulgence. Why push over Ending in the main deck? Good question. I'm pretty high on push at the moment. I'm pretty high on that card, and having like a low curve is really nice in this deck with Mentor. But the way the deck is constructed, you get to play 4 Darkslick Shores, and you have no double blue cards, and you have no 1 or 2 mana spell that costs white mana. So all of your 1 and 2 drops are just blue and black, and your 3 drops are white. Your curve is just like your mana is so good to build when you build a deck like this. And I've played other builds with main deck ending and, you know, suggestions like that, and not that I think it's unplayable or anything, but I do think that the mana just struggles so much when you play ending in the main deck. The Dark Depths won the No Manless tournament. Do you have the combo? They do have the Martyr of Sands too. I guess they need to have 2 out of 3 white cards in their hand, so 2 out of 3 spells, not lands, which they have exactly, so that they can make an Angel token, which is good. Definitely good. So I guess we're gonna go for Swamp, maybe Island. Okay, Island. Founding into Drown. And then we can Prismatic Ending this next turn. We can maybe take a hit also. They have a Serra Ascendant. They're in a Serra Ascendant Path Exile, so I need to play around this path. I think Putrid Imp would see play at Modern if they had a View Horizon set. Yeah, it would, for sure. Do I have tips for building mana bases? Not only do I have tips, but I have a... Oh, speaking of the Channel Fireball plug, I have a deep dive on Channel Fireball that I wrote a while ago about selecting the lands in your modern mana bases. There's lots of good articles that Reed, for example, has written about like the numbers you need to crunch. Reed and Frank Carson have written good articles about those numbers you need to crunch for your mana bases. But I did feel like there was like a little bit of gap in kind of like the more like in modern, like getting your mana base fixed is not that big of an issue. Because there's such good fixing, but like that nuance of selecting the right ratio of fetch lands, shock lands, fast lands, check lands, triumph sometimes, it is a bit more nuanced, and so there's a guide there for that. I would also recommend reading Reed's and Frank's articles too. I think they're both really good. That was actually one maybe I should update on Channel Fireball soon. It's been a couple years, or not a couple years, like a year. So I know my opponent has Path in their hand. So how do we feel about just Thoughtseizing the Path, casting Mentor, being at 5? It's so low. I go to 3 off the Squadron Hawk attacks, and they play 2 more Hawks. I'm just, like, dead. I guess I can I can kill 2 Hawks. I can kill 2 Hawks, go to 1, and maybe kill them on the untap. Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of dicey. Unironically, Squadron Hawk good against us, huh? Kind of dicey, but I think there's a good chance, like, so they play 2 more Hawks, I'm at 3, I use my 2 removal spells, kill 2 Hawks, go to 1, I have 2 tokens. Oh, I guess they're at 27 though. They're at 27. So I hit them for 4 down to 23, 2 tokens. I have to draw, like, super... Okay, let's go to game. Let's go to game 3. Let's go to game 3. Do I bring in Lingering Souls? I don't really... I'm just, like, so cold to freaking Squadron Hawk. I think someone wants something like Tolarian Snake or Murktide to turn on Indulgence. Well, you have 1 Murderous Cut, but I digress. Like, for the most part, you're not that interested in turning on Indulgence. If you are, it's still not going to happen that consistently anyways, maybe more consistently with Founding. But it's so tough to me to play a card like Murktide or Tolarian Snake in a deck like this that's playing 4 copies of Unearth, you know? Although, maybe in this, they seem to be, like, I guess they have all the paths. Oh, man. Tough, tough, tough. Let me cut a Thoughtseize, the Teferi. Consider 4. Play, like, 3 souls. Seems interesting. Yeah, I'm a bit confused, too. It's a weird matchup. Lingering Souls versus Squadron Hawk. Not quite your average 2020 modern match, huh? I think cutting white and putting Sedgemoor Witch would make the deck much worse. I do think it would make the deck much worse. Sedgemoor Witch doesn't trigger off Mishra's Bauble, but also, like, a Pest token is so much weaker than a Monk token. Like, a Monk token is a serious threat by itself, and a Pest token is just a little pest, you know? I think I will draw this 3rd land. Kind of close though. I'll keep it. What was the last 2 in game 1? It was Tron, so it was kind of classic. Draw 3 black removal spells against Tron in game 1. Then we Fulminator Mage them 4 times in game 2, and then we were really had game 3, and then we just couldn't find our 3rd land for a while. Rob, thank you for the 8 months. Appreciate you. It was a very interesting game 3 also. Lots of relevant spells drawn. Okay, let's discard this. A lot of the land-based decks, Creativity Tron Titan is acceptable to play Moon in a 3-color deck to combat them. I mean, when people say 3-color deck, all I ever hear is Jund. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's fine. Oh, do it, opponent. Ghost Quarter me. When people say in a 3-color deck, I hear what you really mean. I play John, can I play Blood Moon? Let's ending this. And the answer is, yeah, that's probably fine. Do you think Team Wreck is still good? I think it's, there's never really been a time I've, like, disliked Team Wreck, to be honest. Ooh, Abiding Grace. Exile-based removal looking pretty good there. This card is, like, certainly one of the best against me in this matchup, so I think that I'm... Ooh. Wow, so much action. I think that I'm likely to take a turn off to Prismatic Ending this, though. Blue, white, black. I played your Boros Godless Flicker deck versus Tron and Sided in Charmal. They got so pissed they time out. You're welcome. Beautiful. What card is that? Abiding Grace? This is 3-mana enchantment, a dirty Modern Horizons 2 card. At the beginning of your end step, you can either gain 1 life or return a creature with mana value 1 or less from your graveyard to your battlefield. Very good against these blue-black decks. I don't want to Indulgence here. I could, obviously. MTG Wiki, thank you for 3 months. Appreciate you. I have more black removal spells that can answer the Ascendant instead of... I actually no 1-mana white removal spell, so just do this. They've got 4 cards in their hand. Yeah, but I think Karn... Someone suggested playing Karn Silex in the Boros Skolos deck, and I thought that was... Or Jeskai Lotus Field. I think that would be an interesting spot for those. Okay, I'm out of basics, so they can effectively Ghost Quarter me here if they want to, but they also don't necessarily know I'm out, right? Okay. Seems they don't know. Pretty sure I'm supposed to Souls flashback here. Yeah, you ever connive Lingering Souls? People and they didn't want me to play this today, huh? They didn't want me to play this today. It has so much synergy in the deck. Souls has so much synergy. It's crazy. I've actually main decked them sometimes in this archetype. Okay, we're dead. All right, we'll try to fight through the Hawks, I suppose. I'll try. Call. Let's discard a Drown, I guess. How do you feel about a Gothlin Silex Stard before Modern Horizons 2? People, I think, just make up words and type them in chat. Go Gothian Silex style card before Modern Horizons 2. I don't know what that you're asking. What is that? What even is that? Each non-land token permanent with a name originally printed and antiquities. Oh, you mean city in a bottle style cards, okay? I think you mean city in a bottle style cards. Yeah, no, I suggested that the other day, I think, or we were goofing about that the other day. Just like 0 mana, instant, split seconds. Ban all Modern Horizons 2 cards currently in play, and then in parentheses, your opponent is DQ'd for playing Modern Horizons 2 cards. That would be my suggestion. That would be my suggestion. And then also, the parentheses below that is Omnath, Locus of Creation, counts as a Modern Horizons 2 card. And then, okay, so it doesn't say that. There's a blank box. There's a blank box, and you can write in a Sharpie or use a sticker to put whatever card you don't like there. You can counter that. That's 6-drop with Drown with their 4 cards in the yard. You just get to write whatever card you want there as one addition to Modern Horizons 2. As one additions to Modern Horizons 2. Dirty Modern Horizons card. Yeah. Then it also says fetch lands can't be activated, but it's an instance, so that part isn't that relevant. In a split second, so that part's not that relevant. Okay, keep this. Surgical for Omnath would be the community card. Okay, 0 mana. Surgical opponent's Omnaths, but you don't have to target a card in the yard, and you draw a card. That's pretty good. Ooh, goblins. 0 mana, search hand, library, graveyard for all Omnaths, exile them, draw a card. You guys ever just Thoughtseize yourself here? You guys ever just Thoughtseize yourself, and then on turn 2, Unearth Mentor, Thoughtseize? It's really not correct. It's not the line. I'm doing this for content, okay? This is not the correct play. This is not the listen, if I'm at an RCQ, I'm Thoughtseizing my opponent here, but you know, we're 1-1 in the league. I can Thoughtseize myself and take the fun line. I mean, yeah, munitions expert's pretty good against me here, huh? Usually when chatters say throwing for content in the chat, they're like, you know, teasing me because I've made a punt or whatever, but here, unironically, throwing for content. Ooh, into founding the third path too. Although maybe not casting that next turn. Listen, they don't call me a content destroyer, you know? No one has ever called me... Dude, main deck Crater Maker. I won't go on a rant about Crater Maker, but I do hate this card. I'm going to take it, though. It's the best card against me here. I'm a big Crater Maker hater. Here comes the content. Taking 5? I guess my life total is looking real low, Spider-Man. That's fine. You can cast their Prospector, and then they have a War Marshal, which is pretty good with double Horde Master, huh? I can bounce a Horde Master. Well, I guess I could bounce a Horde Master, but instead I think it seems a bit better to go Founding plus Drown, and then I can get a tap land and I'll have to fetch Shock, and I get an extra Monk token also. They can sack for a red mana here, but the red mana is like never relevant, so they should just let it happen, probably. I guess they could have Tarfire in their deck, but they also can't cast Tarfire off the Horde Master. Oh, they find a Munitions Expert off the Horde Master trigger, which is bad for me. I do have a Unearth in the Yard to flashback with Founding, though. Been a fun game, for sure. If I was my opponent, which I'm not, I would probably go Mog War Marshal, sack the War Marshal for a mana into Munitions Expert. Yeah, we got Mentor into play with Unearth, which is kind of like the whole idea with this list, I guess. I'm going to double block this. Kind of scary with the Mog War Marshal. I guess they can sack here, but then I take no damage. That's also fine. They don't, they just take the trade. I take 2, and I'm going to fetch down to 6, Teferi bounce the Lord, and then set up for a Unearth Mentor turn with the Founding in 2 turns. How am I liking the set a bit underpowered for my taste, or fine? People always have, I think, like super unrealistic expectations when it comes to standard sets, but as far as standard sets goes, I'm super thrilled with the new set. I think it has a lot of impact on the formats I like to play, and I have been enjoying it so far. No Triumph. The curve is just a bit too low. And the mana's pretty good already. Do I ever bounce the Fanatic here? If I bounce the Fanatic... They don't sack it, probably. If they do sack it, doesn't kill my Monk. They kill Teferi, maybe that's fine. I think I bounced the Horde Master. Yeah, I don't know. I just think people like they want way too much out of a standard set, but in the context of a standard set, there's been like lots of really interesting, exciting cards. One huge addition to Modern, which is Leyline Binding. That card has felt like phenomenally good. Lots of fun archetype role players that we've been playing with for like, you know, more than a full week now, or about a full week now, and I'm having a good time. So I have to block or I die. So we get to go Unearth, Tainted Indulgence, Murderous Cut. We'll be playing regional champs in November. I'm not currently qualified. I have 2 more RCQs and maybe Magic Online qualifier if I've missed one, but I do think that I'm going to be like I'm gonna try to qualify anyways, even if I don't make it. By November, I'm gonna try to go to the LCQs. The LCQs in Atlanta. There's like I don't know how many you get to play, but there are last chance qualifiers. I should have let them target first. I guess I can still do that. There are last chance qualifiers, and if you can 5-0 one of them, you get to qualify. In theory, I could get to play like 3 of those on that Friday before, and I feel like my chance to 5-0 is like probably has to be high enough for me to like go, you know. Am I going to MTG Summit? I'm not going to MTG Summit. I'm going to Vegas. I didn't really realize how like big a deal MTG Summit was until I kind of like decided to go to Vegas. I'm also taking another trip. We'll talk about that later, but I didn't realize that it was like everybody was going. they DM'd me and I don't think I responded. I didn't like know what it was. I was like busy that day or whatever. But I didn't know everybody was going. Yeah, I didn't realize it was gonna just be this huge deal. I don't know, it's fine. I just like it's not really realistic for me to go to Vegas and Atlanta and this other trip, and like I just can't go to all of them. And I'm also playing the SEG con locally to me here, but that's kind of another story. Okay, so let's attack. 3rd time in Vegas. It'll be my 2nd time going. Yeah, SCG Dallas. Yeah, I can't remember when it is. I know, but Minguchi is coming to SCG Dallas, and we're gonna hang out. It's gonna be a good time. Or I'll have a good time. With my hero. Okay, so we get to go Unearth, Mentor, at instant speed, which is a sick line. This has been a super fun game. IRL stream. I think when Mingu's here, I don't know if I'm gonna be like trying to create content. I think I mostly just want to hang out, but we'll see. We'll see if we can do something. I personally am just more interested in hanging with him than getting a sick collab going, but you know, I never say no to a sick collab. Ooh, I think we get to draw 2 here because we have the cut, right? Yeah, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. What a turn. What a turn. Beautiful turn. Another draw 2. Hear pitter patter out there. That was a fun game. I'm glad we took the content line. I don't know if the other line wins. Their hand was like really Thoughtseize resilient. Maybe I'm just telling myself that. Okay, let's focus up. Definitely want all the endings. Thoughtseize is fine against them. I think I'll go down to like 2. This might just be the separate plan. I actually don't think Lingering Souls is that bad. Lingering Souls might be pretty good. This is actually a good deck for Charm. The problem with Charm is like you just like it only reanimates multicolored permanents, right? Was the Thoughtseize line correct? It definitely worked out. There's always a big difference between a line working out and it being correct. Cut seems decent. I think it's a little bit too much removal. I think that players, I mean, this might have changed with the new Horde Master, but I think people are like of the perception that like we're playing a tribal matchup and you just have to have as much removal. I'm gonna keep this as much removal as possible, but Goblins is a deck that's like super duper resilient to removal comparative to other tribal decks, and I think it's just kind of fine to. You don't have like Conspicuous Stoop is like literally the only card that you have to kill. Everything else you can just let sit and play. Speaking of the Snoop. Oh, they have Kiki on top too. I'm gonna get Watery Grave. It's close. Graveyard Mentor is fine. I have to draw something. Not something. At least I have the push, and I have 2 looks at my next land. Oh right, I should. We knew the top card. I should have waited on the Bauble. And yeah, if I draw a land, I'll just play the Shredder. You could have Thoughtseize them turn 1, decided Thoughtseize yourself turn 2. Yeah, but I mean you miss a monk. I think missing the monk is not something I'm that interested in. Harbinger. For Snoop. Okay, that's fine. Deck, please. Okay, I'll actually correctly time my Bauble now, though. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 looks at a land. Okay, I'm gonna kill this before they get to snoop something. Oh no! Okay, wait, no. I can use Founding the Third Path to flashback Murderous Cut, but Murderous Cut is my only way to kill a hardcast Kiki Jiki. Oh no, I've drawn. I was just thinking like the Kiki is gonna be tough to deal with. We know it's in their hand too. Okay, I'm gonna concede. Let's go to game 3. I'm off it. Listen. You get like 9 looks at a land like that, and you miss on all of them. The deck does not want. It doesn't want you to win. It doesn't want you to win that game. And there's no fighting. No fighting the deck. Or at least it's not a fight you're gonna win. I'm not sure I'm pushing. I would probably push Prospector on turn 1. I don't know that I would push Mog Fanatic. They only have 1 Prospector. I'm just going to play the Watery Grave tapped, I think. Sawa Tarix, thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody from Sawa's stream. Playing a little bit of pet deck with Founding the Third Path. I feel like Founding has looked really good so far in this list, but I also just kind of love that card. Maybe I'm just saying, maybe I'm just super biased towards it. Okay, so there's the Horde Master. I have to kill this because if I don't kill this, my Mentor dies to a Munitions Expert. They unfortunately have my most hated card, Goblin Crater Maker, on top. So I guess I'm gonna. So I don't want to just jam the Mentor, but I also don't need to. I don't need to kill the Crater Maker either, since I can consider it instant speed to save my Mentor from a Crater Maker trigger if I want to. That might be a bit of a silly dance to dance though. Yeah, it's probably just better to use my mana now, and with them having Cavern of Souls, the Drown in the Loch has gotten a lot worse also. Okay, they're trying to deal me too, and they realize they can't. Yeah, this is definitely the time of the set rotation to play your pet cards. At least that's how I always like to do it. Play the pet decks. Get a bit more serious as time goes on. The brewing was also so sweaty for so long, you know, so intense. It's been fun to like play like the no bandless modern, play like the Jhin deck, play this deck. It's been a good time. Okay, so I'll consider, and then they can use the Mog Fanatic to kill the Mentor. I'll draw the Founding. It can dig me for either, you know, Unearth, and then the mill might incidentally find me Lingering Souls. Also gives me prowess triggers. I think Jin has legs on Pioneer. I do, yeah. I actually think that card might slot into Phoenix really well. Being a flyer is like really nice against mono green, and the cost reduction effect does seem pretty nice in that deck too. So I'm like intrigued by it. There's certainly tension with Treasure Cruise and the other Delve spells or whatever, but well, I guess now I'm just gonna cast a Mentor. Although, hold on, I know my opponent has Leyline. Yeah, I know my opponent has a Leyline, so I'm actually a bit concerned. I want to be able to drown the Leyline, I think, if they hardcast it. I want to be able to mill myself, yeah. So we'll just go on Chapter 2, mill myself here. We also get to attack with this line. Although we get less Mentor triggers. But I do think there's a pretty good chance my opponent just like hardcast the Leyline this turn. Yeah, Haughty Jin. I don't even know if I've been pronouncing that correctly all day, but it's like H-A-U-G-H-T-Y. It's so easy to like see the Leyline on top of their library in the spot and just completely ignore it, you know. But I do think it was good enough to answer. Let me cast the Consider here. So I don't have anything I want to discard, and I'm not drawing 2 off the card. As far as I know, the See the Truth bug is not fixed yet. With this many cards in the graveyard, do I care about Leyline? I do care about Leyline in the spot with me having founding the third path, wanting to flashback cards here. I have Lingering Souls in my deck. I do care about it. Fury on top, huh? No attack with the Expert. Do you think Ledger Shredder ending is correct here? Shredder will have 4 toughness. If they want to 2-for-1 themselves to Fury it, that's fine. I think with this Snoop exiled, you just keep the Mentor here. Again, this is something I've said a few times during the stream, but like the only card you have to kill out of Goblins is Conspicuous Snoop. Literally every single other card you just like can play a normal game against and try to like build a bigger board than them and beat them in creature combat. The only card that is a must kill is Conspicuous Snoop, and I guess now sometimes you want to kill the Lord too, but unlike every other tribal deck where you're just trying to like remove all their stuff and keep that density of cards together. What do you do against Hardcast Fury? Well, if they have Hardcast Fury, I still have my 2 tokens or my Shredder, and I have a Mentor to build a wide board. Then his Fury Mystery card. Big draw step, bad draw. I will attack for 2 in the air, keep this 2 connive away. What card do you think Wizards could hit in Mono Green Pioneer, or do I think it doesn't need a hit? I mean, I think the metagame has adjusted to where Mono Green as a like player in the format is not so powerful that I think it needs a ban. I think that there's most of the best decks in the format, or at least like Mono Green is a format defining deck in the sense that like it's like not really reasonable to register anything that you think is bad against Mono Green. But because of that, the format has kind of adjusted to like be really, really warped around it and trying to beat it, and successfully beating and successfully keeping it down. That being said, I think the deck is really miserable to play against most of the time, and okay, max punish for not playing the Shores. I guess I'll play it now. I think the deck can be very unfun to play against, and if they were to ban it, it would not be something I would shed a single tear for. Could use a second graveyard spell like Cling to Dust. We have some Lingering Souls in the sideboard. You could play some in the main deck. You could play Cling to Dust in the main. The dynamics with Founding are really interesting. Yeah, I agree it's miserable to play against. And I think that, like, you know, for the most part in competitive formats, miserable to play against is not really the best argument for Wait, hold on. Their hand is Fury, Snoop, Mystery card, and they're passing. So my opponent has to have Munitions Expert. But no, they would have cast the Snoop. What am I missing? Would I ban a mono green card or Nykthos? I mean, you should ban the more powerful card, you know what I mean? 18 lands, by the way. It's always miserable to play against what's really rough about mono green is like their turns take so long. The turns take so long with Nykthos and untapping, and it's not deterministic. Soken's on. How is this the line? You could have hardcast Fury. What are we doing? Literally, what are we doing here? No, they don't fly. My opponent thought the token said flying. I guess that's what we're doing here, huh? Okay, that's fair. You gotta. They have haste, not flying. They hit us with the GGs. Although they're not dead on board. Yeah, they could have pitched. They could have pitched the, you know, the Snoop. But I guess, you know, the shame concede is one I know all too well. I know it all too well, huh? Okay, new match. We're on the draw. I think I'm gonna mulligan this hand. Yeah, I'll try to get a Lucy emote. My emote artist is just bought a house. She's pretty behind. I'll try to make it happen. Alright, let's hope Fatal Push is good in this matchup. So good. She's so good. What's good about the Lucy cam is it works if the desk is standing mode or sitting mode. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, See the Truth's still bugged. Yeah, she had a baby, then she bought a house, and she's not making any emotes for me. It's terrible.
Who had a baby and bought a house?
You know who. Madison.
No, you see? Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for kisses. Jesus.
GG crazy hair.
Kisses, more kisses.
I feel like if I Ledger Shredder just gets countered, but that's probably fine. Treats? I did, yeah. Dress down in response.
Did you set up a channel point redemption for it or no?
No, I mean I can only do one thing every week.
Oh, okay.
I defeated the black bar and set up the dog cam. What else could you possibly want?
I defeated the black bar.
Their hand's pretty good. I'm gonna take a heat, I think. Is Athena jealous? No, if anything, she's just kind of tired because she's more active, and Lucy still like definitely has that like puppy energy, you know. But I don't. Jealous is not what I think she is. So I'm probably gonna drown the charm end of turn. So hoping they don't mill over land, artifact, creature, sorcery. Easy. Hope achieved. Okay, so I do know that they have Spell Pierce in addition to their Unholy Heat. So I think jamming the Indulgence is less than optimal. Well, I guess what I can do is I can Indulgence on their turn. If they cast another spell, I get the Connives. Okay, so in response to this Lightning Bolt, I can cast Tainted Indulgence. And if they Spell Pierce, I get the Connive. Okay, shoot. I need to discard the Mentor so I can set up for an Unearth turn. Doesn't feel great. I don't think I'd play See the Truth in this list. I think the Tainted Indulgence to discard the Mentor is too important. Okay, so they're likely going to Unholy Heat, although they should probably do it on my turn to turn off the Connive. Oh, we get to have 4 Lingering Souls post board though, which is very exciting. They still have a Spell Pierce up. So I think I'm supposed to go Drown here. And they'll Spell Pierce. And I'll get a Connive. Let's Connive that away. Their hand should be fresh and new. Second Spell Pierce, certainly a real possibility. Not much to say beyond that though. Cast the Push. Okay, no Spell Pierce. Let's have a Channeler. Okay, so we get to go Founding the Third Path on Chapter 1. Cast the Indulgence for 0. Discard here, and then I just Murderous Cut this now, because if they have a Murktide, I can flash it back with the Founding the Third Path. Founding the Third Path has seemed very good this league, right? I'm not just like, I know it's a hard card to evaluate. The card has seemed really good all day that we've been playing it, and it seemed good in the Reanimator deck. Maybe like that build wasn't as good as the other one, but I'm not just like imagining that it's going well, right? I'm crazy? Okay. Fair enough. I guess I would just Unearth the Mentor now. Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's felt good in basically every deck we've tried it in. And it's like, it's felt very good here, I feel. So we draw a non-creature spell, because that is that, huh? So I'm going to target the Unearth. Unearth the Mentor, Unearth the Mentor. I like to see it in Pox. Yeah, I think that's an interesting spot for it too. Someone suggested like in Pox Reanimator. I like that. I like that idea. I would definitely be down. The counterspell, they have a Dress Down. Kind of surprised they didn't Dress Down in response to the Mentor being targeted with Unearth. Maybe they missed the timing. Oh, hey, Lucy. Yeah, yes. She's learning that this is her spot. This is her spot. Because I feel bad, I'll go give treated to Athena, who's on the other side. Yeah, we could have a Gigantha's probably right to play. I hate that you're supposed to play Gigantha though. But yeah. Would Founding be too greedy to play in a Founding Modern Mill? No, I think it'll be really good at Modern Mill. I know that Demonic Tutors, who plays more Mill than any other streamer I know, doesn't like it personally, but I'm a fan. I think it would be good. Spoofy Tier 1, appreciate you. Having to get to 5 in the art for Indulgence doesn't seem great. Yeah, well, that's not really why you play the card. You play it so you can loot away Mentor and have Unearth turns. But yeah, you are right. It's like, this is kind of flavor text on the card. It's very difficult to do. You need a Murderous Cut. Okay, I'm going to push on my turn for Prowess / Connive. But it's got no cards in their hand. Let me go ahead and push this, though, before they draw off the Bauble, because if they draw a counterspell, then I would prefer for this to resolve, obviously. Okay, so we do Prowess Connive, although Connive is just like, maybe you get a +1 counter, right? We do get the +1 counter. Out of Lightning Bolt range, my opponent's top card is a Steam Vents. We don't know what the card they drew off their Bauble was, though. Obviously not a Lightning Bolt or Heat, though. Why wouldn't you run 2 swamps in my black sack if I play 3 Blood Moon sideboard? I thought that I did have 2 swamps. No, sorry. The one card is Murktide, of course. Oh, and in that list, like, you have 4 Malakari Births, so you are actually less... Oh, dude, Founding, let's go. You're less interested in lands that just tap for black, and in the matchups that you bring Magasin, which are Tron Titan... Tron and Titan, you just don't need it that much. Oh, I was supposed to flashback Drown, though, sorry. This is fine. Can probably actually delve. Triggers Connive too. Triggers Prowess twice. I know that Founding's really hard to evaluate. I do feel like it's been really good all day. Yeah, but against Tron and Titan, you don't need the second black source as much, and like you have Ragavan to make the black mana. You could play a second swamp, but I think it hurts your mana overall. Okay, so bring in the Murderous Cut 4 souls. I think I'm going to cut 4 Thoughtseize. Could play 1 Thoughtseize maybe. Not a ton of room, to be honest. Probably cutting the 4th Mentor. With Founding, it seems like Snapcaster is just better. Isn't a 2-1 better than the Mill 4? There's more on this card than just the Mill 4. You are absolutely right. Like, if you always are just playing it like Chapter 3, then yes. Like, if you're going to read ahead to Chapter 3, Snapcaster 2-1 is better. But this card can come down and cast a spell from your hand. If it's a 2-mana spell, this card effectively is 0. Effectively is 0 over the course of a few turns. The Mill 4 is also really good in this deck. The Mill 4 is really good. Maybe the 2-1 is better. I used to play Snapcaster in this deck over the Founding, and that's why it was like an easy swap, and Snapcaster is good in the shell. You could still play 1 or 2. But Founding is also multiple Monastery... It's like, it can be like 2 to 3 extra Monastery Mentor triggers over the course of the turns. It's very flexible. It can mill your opponent for drowning the Loch, which is something we found out. It's really good at enabling Connive for Ledger Shredder, although for less mana than Snapcaster does. But and maybe even like more simply put, like Founding the Third Path is a card that you can cast on turn 2 in your modern deck, and Snapcaster Mage is a card that is never online until turn 3. I guess you can cast it turn 2, but like, the fact that you get to cast it on turn 2 is just, like, very nice compared to Snapcaster. I'll also say this a little bit less important, but as time has gone on, the random 2-1 that is Snapcaster Mage has become less and less irrelevant to just have the random 2-1. Not irrelevant, but you're just not winning. You're not winning that many games with the random 2-1, you know? They ever play with Snapcaster in the Reanimator builds? Not in the Reanimator builds, no. Spoofy, 2-pack, thank you. Yeah, I remember when Snap was really expensive. Maybe not $120, but I've spent a lot of money on Snapcasters. Okay, Pioneer Hammer. So I don't usually like this build of Hammer very much. The one that's in on the artifact synergies, because I mostly think the artifact synergies stink. Okay, I need to like, I get so many deck texts with Eater of Virtue and Pioneer as like a 1, 2, 3F, and I always read this card. I'm like, man, this card sucks. Just 1 mana equip plus 2 oh, maybe that's fine. Maybe I'm over like thinking like the Soul Flare text on this card, but I just feel like this card is so mediocre. So yeah, it's like a Bone Splinter with flavor text. You know what I mean? It's a Bone Splinter with flavor text, which is like fine, but I just don't like this card this much. And for the most part, for this like, oh, I thought I cut the Thoughtseizes. Did I not sideboard? No, I didn't sideboard. I didn't click submit. Oh, I thought for sure I clicked submit. My Lingering Souls. I mean, his hand's at least really good, huh? You might win game 2 and not get to Lingering Souls them. Yeah, the Lucy effect. But for the most part, if you're playing Hammer, I think that it's better to be like the red-white deck, and you can play the 1 mana instant that attaches a hammer to a warrior. Okay, them shocking Obscene Vents. I'm not going to just jam the Shredder into Counterspell. And like potentially the Nahiri or the new 4-drop and Paladin class or Warrior class, whichever class gets you the hammer into your hand. And I think that build seems to look better to me than like smashing it in the artifact aggro deck, a deck that I think is pretty bad by itself, and you're gonna have a lot of hands where you have this aggro draw and you just have like an open armory that's very slow, and you don't draw your 4 of Sigardizade. You're just gonna like just not draw your 4 of Sigardizades that often. And, you know, maybe the idea is, oh, I've got Ledger Shredder, I can connive into it, I can connive them away. I just don't feel like this is as good as just playing either regular blue-white in Snow and Soul, or playing the hammer, or just playing like the red-white hammer deck. And so maybe it kind of comes down to, you know, maybe like now that I've said this piece, you've showed me this list, like, I will say that disagreeing with those ideas is probably fine, you know what I mean? Like, and if you think that those ideas are wrong, I think you have a good draft. I would probably play 4th Portable Hole over the 1st Eater of Virtue, but that's not like a really big difference. And, you know, you have a good draft here. If you agree with what I'm saying and you think that this is not a good way to build a deck, and you should either pick Blue, White, and Soul or Heroic, that's fine. And, you know, I encourage you to pick one of those two. I don't know which one I encourage you, but if you disagree with me, you might be right. I think your list looks really tight and like well built, besides that one small change I'd make, and so I would encourage you to just start playtesting, you know. Top deck iteration. I don't feel like Hammer's that great unless you play a Modern. Well, you know, people have, you know, been naysaying Hammer in Modern too. I do feel like it's a card that has potential in Pioneer. I do. Oh, Tormund scripting me. So I guess I'm going to try to drown them to maybe make them crypt themselves. Okay, this is kind of cutesy, maybe not that good, but what if I drown them? Okay. I was thinking they would crypt themselves. They didn't even consider it for a second. Fair enough. Didn't even give it a second thought. I'm surprised to see Tormund's Crypt over Hearse. I feel like Hearse is just so good, especially in the mirror too, you know. Okay, so I know my opponent has Odawara as one of their 2 cards. Let's cast Tainted Indulgence. Discard the Thoughtseize. Cast the Founding. Try to use this as the Crypt Getter. I should probably just mill them also, right? Tormund's isn't 30 plus. I don't think that is Hearse like that expensive on Magic Link. Oh, they're targeting me. This is another thing about playing new cards and something that's like actually like Founding has looked really good today, and this is also, you know, something I'm pretty used to. But sorry, I'm used to like this. What I'm about to talk about. New cards can sometimes have the tendency to look better than they actually are. Oh no, I need to stop and draw step. Damn it. Oh, wait, hold on. So I can go target here. Yeah, I can go target here, Indulgence, discard Shredder, cast Unearth. Oh, discard a Mentor. Is that better? Yeah. Like, people just don't know how to play around new cards a lot of the time, and they'll like make mistakes into them. And so like this is like definitely the kind of thing that can make a new card look better, and is also like part of the reason why you as a Magic player are incentivized to brew and incentivized to try new things and incentivized to look for new things, because you do gain an edge when your opponents are just not prepared for you. That being said, I think cards like I think Wandering Emperor, at least by my evaluation, is a good example of a card that is a good spell for sure, but is a card that in my opinion was initially overhyped because at first it was just like a card that nobody knew how to play around. If I found Charm, Seasoned Pyromancer, Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I found Riveteer's Charm to be the best in really low to the ground builds like Jund's Shadow. Oh, beat the 2-0 them without even sideboarding. What a flex. Riveteer's Charm to be best in like Jund's Shadow or like the Scam variant of Jund with super low mana curves. I found Seasoned Pyromancer to be better in Jund's Saga, which is playing Gigantha and is playing and has better cards to copy, like mostly Urza Saga tokens, has 4 Ren and 6s to loot better, wants to make the treasure tokens for your Urza Saga tokens. All Riveteer's Charm, Seasoned Pyromancer, Fable, I think all go in like different Jund variants. So maybe not the best answer to your question, or maybe it was the best answer to your question. Spiral and Gigantha deck, Fable in the Gigantha deck, with Jund Saga. I maybe misspoke. Would I recommend Esper Mentor for a tournament or for more of an FNM deck? Probably more of an FNM deck. This is certainly like a bit of a pet deck of mine, but I like it. It's pretty fun. I've trophied with it once or twice, and this like, you know, I will say this. This is why I like to play a lot of brews. This is why I like to keep these kind of like, you know, more fringe strategies. These kind of pet decks that are not amazing, but I like to work on them. I like to keep them on the radar. These decks that are like almost there, because sometimes a card like Founding the Third Path gets printed and it's just like an amazing fit in the deck that you've worked on before. You know, we're 3-1. We lost a rough game to Tron. I'm just feeling good. Which variant is Lily the best in? Lily's fine. She's best in like the more traditional non-saga mid-range variants. If I played Goblins, I did play Goblins, yeah. I played it on Thursday or Friday last week before I won the challenge. I really like the Sting Scourger in the challenge winning list, though. That was something that I wasn't on. Okay, so I'm going to unearth the Shredder before casting Shredder. This way I can play around Spell Pierce. Togek, thank you for the 2-pack. Appreciate you. That's on Mardu Mentor versus Esper Mentor. When you say Mardu Mentor, there's not a deck that comes to my mind. There's not a deck's construction that comes to my mind. My mind is blank. My mind is empty. I have no thoughts in my little brain. You know what I mean? And when you say Mardu Mentor, I don't just, build a deck. I don't think that there's a good reason to be Mardu. Oh, this is a hard deck to look at, but it's interesting. Oh, dude, I actually had this thought too, Defile Instinct in the Grinning Ingus deck, but I thought about in Pioneer, not in Modern. I don't know that you have to pay life for each loop, though. Okay, playing the land is tough, but I think I'm almost definitely going to want to have Founding plus Drown up here. Okay, hold on. So many like 2 and 3 ofs. It's usually not very much my style. Elementals and warrior spells cost 1 less. Maggo is not a warrior, is he? No, monkey. So many 1 ofs and 2 ofs. It's just very, very like Japanese style deck building. Not in a not in a bad way. Just like I will see lists like this a lot of the times. Like obviously you have 4 Flamekin Harbinger as like this tutor toolbox, and I will say that a lot of the time when players are playing, I guess it's just better to loot the consider away. No, what am I doing? Sorry. I'm thinking I just wanted to mill myself and then get the chapter sooner, but I guess getting a counter on this is actually pretty relevant. Maybe not. This is maybe fine. I think that players do have the tendency to play too many tutors in their toolbox decks, where for the most part in this this Harbinger deck you're going to get Risen Reef, Grinning Ingus, Fury, sometimes Endurance, sometimes Fulminator Mage, sometimes Thunderkin Awakener. Almost never Steamkin, right? I guess you can get Steamkin if you need the mana generator. But like, are you getting Fulminator Mage enough main deck to want one copy in the main deck? Are you getting one Awakener enough to want one copy in the main deck? Are you ever getting Brighthearth Banneret? And these are the kind of questions that I can't answer without having played the deck myself, you know? This is what makes doing deck text for them so tricky. I will say that Collected Company looks to me like a better enabler to play than Eldritch Evolution. Evolution is really only good when you're sacking your Harbinger, and it is pretty good at doing that, but... Oh, they hit a Drown. Okay, so discard here. I really want to go Unearth. Unearth Mentor, hopefully draw a spell. Awesome. Let me take this turn. I'll keep looking a bit closer at it. Also, okay, this 2-2-2 split you have on Birds of Paradise, like Noble Hierarch, that's probably not correct. I feel like I would just play the full 4 copies of Birds of Paradise and like 2 copies of Ignoble Hierarch, 0 copies of Noble Hierarch. As Athena God, no, she's over there. She doesn't like to. She never will sit in her dog bed, so it makes an Athena cam impossible. We did get a new dog. Her name's Lucy. She's right there. She's very good. Hey, beloved. Yeah, we were playing some Mentor today with Founding the Third Path, which has been pretty good. So I would recommend playtesting, see if these like 1 of 2 targets are worth main decking if you want to play them in the sideboard. I also don't know if Grapeshot is the best win condition or if it's better to play like the 1-3. Okay, I will actually sideboard this time. The 1-3 that gets a trigger every time a creature enters the battlefield, and you can like Collected Company or Eldritch Evolution into it, whichever one you end up going with. So sorry that I forgot to click submit last time. I don't know what you're siding Nevermaker in against. Seems very narrow. But if you have an idea for it, you know, it's fine. Yeah, I do feel like this is like classic way too many tutor targets syndrome. Now, Tribal Enchantment Elemental. Opponent casts a blue spell on your turn. Make a 4/4 green elemental token. Okay, that one's worth it. That one's awesome. As a 1 of though, probably not 2. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had more things to say on this list. It's just very much a head scratcher, and I do like to feel somewhat comfortable saying I don't know when I get a deck tech and I just don't know. Hopefully there was some insight in that rambling. I think I'm out of ideas. But also like maybe I will say that I think like 4 companies over the Defiler and the Evolution is probably correct. Besides that, I don't know. I think I'll draw the Unearth. Definitely going to be comfortable just slamming the Ledger Shredder into 2 mana because I have double Unearth. The Connive. Would love to find a Mentor to discard here. Some dreams that cannot be. So we can go Founding into Unearth next turn, potentially. If that's our plan, then I feel like Drown's like a little high on the curve. Not that Drown would be terrible to have here, obviously. Awesome, Togek. Good luck to you. That looks very fun. Yeah, defeated the Black Bar, got the Lucicam. Things are trending upward, huh? I wish I could show you Athena. She just like, she's like behind the desk right now, and she'll roll over here to beside the desk. She's just, you know, she won't just sit in a dog bed like Lucy will. She's incapable of just sitting in a dog bed. Fatal Push looking like it will be worthwhile. I think I want to push first here. I have 2 Founding, 2 Unearth. If they counter the Founding, it's not that big a deal. And I'm also not going to get to Connive anyways this turn. And killing the... even if they do cast a counter spell... on the Founding, I want them to like not get the Surveil. Surveil, Connive, whatever. I don't like to get Spell Pierced, so I'm gonna cast this like this. I do love that right now we have 4 Ledger Shredders in the, or sorry, 4 Lingering Souls in the deck to like potentially middle for a Founding, but you know we'll also take both of those cards eating a counterspell here. If they cast something end of turn, we do get to Connive. Yeah, very easy thing for them to miss here. That they've already cast 1 spell, even though the Ledger Shredder wasn't in play to see it or whatever. We still get to Connive. Very easy mistake to make. All right, not very good series of draws. Obviously, we'd love to have that pushback. Happy enough to cast this Indulgence. Oh, my opponent could have Spell Pierce pretty easy. They only have 1 card. I'm going to cast it. Maybe I'm just like traumatized from Spell Pierce lately. I've been pierced so much the last few days, last few weeks. Okay, I'm still just double checking to make sure I still have the full 4 Lingering Souls also. I take it Naruto's my favorite. Naruto's not actually my favorite anime. It definitely was when I was younger, but the origin of like the Naruto theme for the channel is that me and my Magic friends, we used to have like a Naruto-themed group chat among us for like going to events and organizing and like talking about decks and stuff, and we all had our own like ninja nicknames and there's just there's like a long inside joke history behind it, but they also helped me set up the stream, so I kept the Naruto theme for that. I think my favorite anime is the live-action remake of Cowboy Bebop. It was just like really fixed a lot of problems that the original had. Ooh, baby, Lingering Souls. What was my my ninja nickname was, I think, Dukara Peafowl, or whatever that card's called. Ninja. It changes every once in a while, the nicknames, but I opened like my first ever full set, and there's also a Dukara Peafowl in the pack, so that was my nickname. That's a troll. The Dukara Peafowl thing? No, that's not a troll. Yeah. I had one. I opened a full set, the first ever full set I had opened on Magic Online, and yeah, there's also the Sweet Seat Dukara Peafowl. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go Founding and going straight to Chapter 3 seems pretty appealing. Oh, dude, Chapter 3 turns on Revolt for Fatal Push here. If I wanted to Fatal Push, which I think I'd just do. That's sick. I think I'll just discard the Unearth. I get all the Souls tokens. Just sacrifice a soul for 3 damage here too. You guys are making fun of the Lingering Souls in the sideboard. They're so good in this deck. They're so good. I promise. I promise. I swear. Please. Oh yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution and the Avatar: The Last Airbender remake. Those are my real favorites. and the second season of Sword Art Online, and alright, feeling good to bounce back for 4-1 after that start with Tron. I need to think of one more shitty anime, hold on.